What's up, all you beautiful dolls out there? How y'all doing? You're tuning in to episode 2 of Let Me Know. So this time we went around asking people, what was your first instrument that you played? So mine was the saxophone. At the time when I was in elementary school, it was just the coolest thing you could do would be a saxophone player. So I was all over that shit. Let's see what everybody else has to say, y'all. Come on.
So, my first instrument was a shitty snare.
Hey, Eric Lewing and Clown Army. Love to all my people. So the question, my first instrument was drums. Big surprise. Yeah, I mean, evidence is, all that right there. Second instrument for me was keyboards. My father got a Korg Poly 800 in like 1985, 86, and I started dinking around with that and learning about that. So, yeah. So that's it. Drummer for me though, and a little bit of a lot of keyboards, but when I get around to it. So, hope everyone's well.
Hi, Burda. I think my first instrument was a piano. I was brought up in a pub. When I was born, I lived in a pub. There was no seat at the piano, so I used to reach up to play it.
What is up, Clown Army? Today I got the question from Eric. What's the first instrument you learned to play? So I'll just show you. There you go. It's the guitar. So this here is not the first guitar I ever owned, but it's the first guitar I ever designed and built all by myself. There you go. Keep it in the screen. It's called the Rooster by RMG Guitars, which is my brand. And yeah, that's it. But nowadays I'm more into all this stuff. So yeah, I stay busy. So there you have it. Bye, Clown Army.
No, seriously. My first instrument was a cowbell.
My first musical instrument. What could that be? With all these synthesizers in here, you would think it's a synthesizer. Well, you're half right, because in this box is a double whammy. You do get to see my first synthesizer, which is in this box, but you also get to see my first musical instrument, which is also in this dust-covered box. What could it be? Is it a clarinet? No, too big for that.
Okay, so what was my first instrument? My first instrument is a bass guitar! This is not the bass guitar that I owned originally. The original bass that I had was a Fender Precision and that got stolen. So now I've got some sort of awful encore thing. But, it works. So yeah, I was like 14 years old when I got my first bass, and I'm still play bass right now. Anyway, I need to finish my poop. Later!
I'm Danny Oxid, and this was my first instrument, the Yamaha PSR 6.
Nah, kid. My very first instrument was a flute. Yeah. Fucking flute. Never played that shit.
Okay, hello Clown Army. Answering the question from Eric, thanks for asking what my first instrument was. And it was this, the piano. Not this particular one, but one my folks got like when I was about 3, or probably before that, but yeah, it was always there. It's like this big ginormous thing to me at that time that made noise, and I remember trying to work out the notes. So I worked out like a note was A, and then another note was A. Then I worked out another note was M, and this must be the Y note. And obviously I was seeing the notes that were underneath the Yamaha logo. So I had to relearn all of those, but I have since. Yeah, so always played it, always loved it really.
My first instrument was a keyboard, and the first tune I ever learnt to play was the EastEnders theme tune.
No, too big for that. It's a trumpet! Tilted Bell Gets an Eterna trumpet. Factory made like this. That'd be a lot better if I had warmed up. So you're thinking, well, where's the first synthesizer in here? Well, let's get some valve oil out, and there it is. VL tone. Let's see if we can make it work here. This is the normal version of this song. When you want to hear the techno dance punk rock version, you do this. So there you have it. My first musical instrument and my first synthesizer.
How you doing? This is LeBlondie. Can you guess what my first instrument was? Yeah, when I was 14 years old, I got myself a nice Pearl Export, a black one, and it followed me everywhere in my 20s, my 30s, my 40s. I never learned how to play, and believe it or not, I sold it last week for $300. Almost shed a tear when a guy left the house with it. But you gotta move on. I got myself an Access virus, so it's all good.
And later, the first instrument I wanted to play was a guitar.
Oi, oi. My first instrument that I got, I would really have to say properly would be my turntables when I was 15. Apart from that, I got a recorder, but that was shit. And I got like some crappy keyboard when I was like, yeah, one of those ones that did fart noises and weird car noises and shit like that. So my first real instrument that I would classify as an instrument is my turntables. Boom, 1995, bitches.
Hey, what's happening, Clown Army? It's Dean from Electronic Sounds. Now, Eric asked me what my first instrument was, and it's the drums. I still consider myself a drummer, even though I don't have a drum set currently. Come on now.
Hey, what's up? First instrument for me, that was the guitar back in the very early 90s. Learned how to play by listening to metal albums and playing along. That's it.
First thing I started out with as a kid was not the guitar, it was actually keyboards. I was young and I was around a lot of keyboards and synthesizers in my dad's club and restaurant, and I got to play on them, and I learned jazz piano from someone from Japan, and I was just a kid. I just would play with the stuff, but I did it for a long time, since I was 5 years old.
But the truth is, I miss my shitty snare as fuck.
Hello, Clone Army. My first instrument was a Honor piccolo harmonica. That was my first touch with music. Then I got a soprano flute, and after that a Yamaha PSR2 keyboard. Peace out.
So just as part of the answer, I was going to play quickly a tune. So it's something it was the first proper tune I ever wrote, and I think I was about maybe 6. I had done a couple of noodles before that, but this was like the first kind of, you know, written thing. And it's only later I realized the main part is actually happens to be what the one of the tunes from my favorite movie at the time. So try and see if you can work out that movie. It's a bit varied, but yeah, this is it. And the left hand is just all over the place, as you see. There you go, and the tune was Mary Poppins. Right, that's it.